light filling from the pelvic floor all the way up into the base of your heart. It's like an inner lift. Take a bow to yourself. Release your hands down. Open your eyes, come on up. And let's start standing. Side view. And with your inhale, reach your arms up. Open. And with your exhale down. Just flying like that. The inhale, reach up. Long through the sides of the torso. Exhale. Okay, move at your own pace. Keep going like that. You're going up and down. With every inhale, you're expanding through the sides of your torso and your lungs. And every exhale, getting more heavy into your feet and into your legs. We'll be warm in like 15 minutes. And like I said last week, you'll be really warm in here by the time you do Shavasana. Hold your wrist once you're up and tip this up. Exhale. Good. Hold the legs steady and so our first order of business today as we go into arm balances, switch sides, is to find what's called the bandhas. Right? The bandhas create an energetic lift from the pelvic floor up into your belly and up into your heart. Come on up and switch sides. So they're called often flying locks. So it gives you the feeling of buoyant flying. You know how you can feel really heavy when you go upside down? It works in complement to that. So that's the first thing, is you're going to start to charge the inner body and the bandhas. Inhale, rise up. Like this. Interlace your hands behind your back. And so we do that. 1. 2, as you move into the arm balances, you have to actually shift what's called the fulcrum. It's like your center of gravity. So here you're standing in your legs, but when you go forward into an arm balance, the whole center of gravity has to shift into the heart. So then we'll be going into that. Take your arms out and swing side and side. Get your spine even. Good. Breathe as you do this. I love being on video. I'm just going to keep saying that to myself. Back to my dance students. Just good. Back to the center. Let's get heat for the legs. We did this last week. Inhale. Exhale. So here you can go like halfway if your knees are sore, or you can go a little bit farther. You see. Inhale. You might want a little bit more space between your feet, some of you, so it's like hip distance. Good. And inhale. And exhale. So we're getting the big muscles of the legs working. Inhale. Keep pressing through your heels. Exhale. Inhale. Nice, you guys. And exhale. Come up halfway. Cross the right over the left. And sit halfway down. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. 1. Breathing in and breathing out for 2. Excellent. Foot is flexed. Seat is heavy. In and out for 3. Take your arms behind you and interlace your hands behind your back if you can. If you can't, just keep them wide like that. Shoulder stretch. Reach the heart open and out. Good. So get the balancing going. Inhale. Come all the way up. Float the arms up. Exhale, down, touch the ground. Ooh, Uttanasana. Bend your knees a little bit, and with your inhale, hold, and with your exhale, stretch your legs. And again, like that, inhale, a little bend, and with your exhale, stretch your legs. 3 more times on your own. So just loosening up the back. Bending on the inhale, stretching on the exhale. Walk your hands up your knees. And diagonal back, press into the heels, rise all the way up to stand once again. And the hands back to the center. Good, we're starting to get warm. Separate the feet just like you did. Inhale. And exhale. Using your heels and your buttock muscles. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. 2 more. So here, which will be helpful for the arm balance, is your legs are working real strong, your core is working, and yet your shoulders are easy, the muscles in the neck, keeping it soft, right? Coming up and cross, left, come down this way with the arms over your head. Okay, full breath in, and full breath out. Now just notice as you do this, because you're going to need this later, you've all got a really good flex of your foot. You see how you're flexing here? And the toes are open. You're going to need that to hook later. That's exactly right. It helps to open up. It like aligns the shin, so it helps to open the hip. Then the arms go behind like this, you could do, or interlace. Draw your shoulders up and back. Exhale, chest opens. Good. In. Yeah, I know it's a lot more like in. That's like all the way up. Take your arms up. Exhale, dive down, touch the ground. Inhale, lift your heart. Step back, downward facing. Good. Here, pedal out through your feet and open up the backs of your legs. Forward to plank pose. Hold plank pose and lift your right heel up a couple inches. And notice how the posture will get heavy if it just goes down into the ground. So lift up from your belly, your pelvic floor, and up into your heart. Look forward a little bit. And exhale, press back, down dog split. Right leg goes up to the sky. Open your hips and bend your top leg. Good. Again, lift the belly up. Exhale, stretch through the heart, through the limbs, all the way out. And with your in-breath, swing your right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. Good. Go up onto your fingertips and look forward. Just that. This is a really good hip opener. Inner edge of the leg and your seam of the leg, but you have more space, so it's wide. Holding that press down into your legs and stretch all the way through. So you go down and out. Hold on just a second. Take your left hand flat and take your right hand to your knee. So you press down into the knee. Turn the chest to the right and reach the right arm up. Easy twist. Find the steadiness of the legs. Now practice your bandhas here, so it's an easy pose. Push into your left hand, suction up from the pelvic floor, draw the belly up towards the heart. There you go, and take your top arm over the ear towards me. Full breath in, full breath out. Take that hand down, walk yourself to the left, wide stance. Exhale, fold. So the legs are steady. You're opening inside the legs. Now practice here. Go up onto your fingertips and press the floor away. As you press the floor away, you'll start to engage these. That's good. Those deeper muscles. Now see if you can take your hands off the ground a little bit, like an inch or two, and that'll start to get the bandhas working. And take your hands down, drop your head down, and a full exhale. Walk yourself forward so you're back in a lunge pose facing the front. Right foot is forward. Swing back, down dog split. Right leg goes up to the sky. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, swing back. Down dog split. Twice more. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, down dog split. One more time. Inhale, knee to nose. All the way back, down dog split. Place that foot down to the ground. Come onto your left hand. Outer edge of your left foot. And right foot forward. So you go over towards 9th Street, towards that wall. Good. Take the right arm up towards the sky. Take your right foot forward half a step. There you go. Yeah, it'll be easier. Now push down into the ground. Suction again from the belly up into the heart and take your right arm over towards me. Good. Inhale. Exhale, take the hands down, lower knees, chest, chin. slide forward. Little cobra's good. And press back, forwards. Child's pose, pit stop. So you stretch through the sides of your body. Our mythological focus today, you guys can come to all fours position. And press back to downward facing dog. And take your left leg up to the sky. Our mythological focus is Ganesh, so we're going to talk about a story later of Ganesh, but in general, Ganesh is said to be this remover of obstacles. You're going to take your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand, so you're wide into the lunge. Just hold that, so just a basic lunge pose. Press down through the front leg, down through the back leg, and with your exhale, opening the inner seam of your legs. Just that. And so to invoke this energy of Ganesh, we're using our bandhas, which are going to help us to develop an inner strength in the body. Take the right hand down, and your left hand to your knee. Right, so you're pressing down. So internally, almost like you're lighting a match, you're stoking a fire from the tailbone to the belly, from the belly to the heart. Open, take your left arm up. You're not going to take your right hand off the ground, but it's as though you might. That feeling of just being able to lift up off of the ground, right? Take your left arm over your ear so you're in a twisted lunge. Exhale, take that hand down. Turn yourself to the right. Simple. Same thing, go on your fingertips to start. Press down into the ground. Exhale, bow your head down. Okay, part one. Part two, keep pressing to the ground. See if you can take your hands off the ground without engaging your neck muscles. So you use core, deep core to heart. Hands go down, and you'll drop the head down. Lift your head up, walk yourself forward towards me, back into the lunge, and swing back, downward facing dog. Down dog splits, and the left leg goes up. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, swing back. Good. Inhale, knee to nose. You guys are looking strong. Exhale, back. One more time. Knee comes in towards the nose. All the way back. And place the foot down. Pause here. Come forward to plank pose. Let's do like we did in the very beginning. So take your left heel up. We'll add this in here. Draw the belly up. Okay. So here it's like the base of the pelvis really working to the core, but the neck is easy. Swing that leg up. Place that foot forward between your hands. Step your back foot forward, fold in half, Uttanasana, and fold again. Reverse the flow of the arms, reach all the way up to stand, Urdhvastasana. We start to warm up. Hands to prayer. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive down, touch the ground, Uttanasana. With your inhale, lift the belly and the chest. Try to hop, or you can go like this, bunny hop, 1, 2, 3, and that'll start to get the bandhas going. Or you can step, it's also fine. Go all the way down, and lift in and up. Cobra pose, high cobra. Over the tops of the feet, downward facing dog. I'm going to give you an option. See how this goes. Walk your feet in like 3 to 6 inches. Shoulders over your wrists, and take your right leg up to the sky. But keep your hips more square. So that's stage 1. Stage 2, bend the leg that you're standing on and take a little hop. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Try one more time, nice and light. Inhale up, and exhale down. There we go. 2 feet down, walk your feet forward. Uttanasana, bow and forward. Reverse the flow of the arms, reach all the way up. Exhale, right back down, touch the ground. With your inhale, look forward. Bunny hop, step or float. Check your arm. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing. Pause here. Let's do 3 breaths together. Exhale everything. In and out for 1. In and out for 2. through the center, in and out for 3. And walk your feet forward just a little bit, 3 to 6 inches, and take your shoulders over your wrists. Reach the left leg up to the sky, and you can just stay there. That's down dog split variation. Or bend the leg you're standing on. Inhale to go up, exhale to go down. Inhale to go up, and you find it light and easy. Bring your foot down, walk your feet forward all the way up to Uttanasana. Rise it up on the inhale. And hands to the back. Get feet a little closer. Bend your knees, Utkatasana. Hold on the exhale. Inhale to rise. Exhale to dive forward, touch the ground. Look forward on the in-breath. Jump back through the vinyasa or step back, and we'll meet you in downward facing dog. Good. Bring it all the way back. Catch your breath here. Go on your tippy toes. And on your tippy toes, feel almost like you're drawing, like you're suctioning up from the earth, from the toes into the belly. Good, so that's stage 1. Stage 2, walk your feet a little closer. Bend your knees, look forward, and see if you can kick your heels to your buttocks. Inhale up, exhale down. 3 times. Inhale up, exhale down. So like a balloon, all the way up. Good, step back, press back, child's pose, take a break. So the bandhas are what's going to help you to get light, and it's that feeling of like inner lift or inner strength. You go all the way back. Come forward to all fours position. Take your right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. Lift your back leg up like a lunge, just like you did before, and stay there. So this is stage 1. Stage 2, take your right shoulder underneath. If the shoulder doesn't go easily, keep your hands on the inside, it's no problem. If the shoulder goes underneath, you snuggle it there, and you have 2 hands on the ground. So just a little hip opener. Lift the back leg up, press the heel back, and stretch the chest forward towards the front. Good. Part 1. You're going to keep going if you like. Part 2, the hands go onto fingertips, and you turn the back heel down like a warrior. This pose is pretty impossible without the bandhas. So you're going to suction in and out from your pelvis, and see if you can take your hands off the ground, even if it's just for a moment. If your hands go up easily, stretch your arms out. This is airplane pose. And stretch again the heart forward. That's good. Hands go down to the ground. Swing back, down dog split. Right leg goes up to the sky. Place the right foot forward between the hands to a lunge. Turn the back foot down. Rise up warrior 2 pose. Right, so you guys are facing that. Good. Full breath in. And a full breath out. Just simple. Let's just hold it. Breathing in. And breathing out. How are we doing with the heat? Should I turn it all the way off? Any off? You're good.
I'm always warm.
You're always warm. Okay. Good. Take your left hand down the back like reverse split. And you'll turn the front one off. Holding. Deep breath. Let the front inner thigh come down. It's super simple pose. Come on up. Take your right forearm to your front thigh and take your left arm. I like the beginning ones like this easy. Then you can use your arm. Press the arm down to ignite the bandhas. So bandha means to lift or to seal. So you're lifting in this way. Right? So support the back and help to make it a little lighter. Take the hands down to the ground and step forward, Uttanasana. And drop your head down. Up. Reverse the flow of the arms, rise all the way up. Bend both knees, Utkatasana. Holding it. In, feels a little heavier. And out. Your tailbone down, in. And out. Rise on the in-breath. Dive on the out-breath. Lift on the in-breath. Take the vinyasa or skip it, and we'll meet you back in downward facing. Catch your breath. 3 breaths. walk your feet forward towards your hands a few inches and stay there. You can just stay on your tippy toes. When you work up on your tippy toes, you're just a little bit in, like that. Or you can go into the hops, bending your knees, inhale up, exhale down. Strength, internally, 2, 3, and pause. Walk it back so you have some space. Take your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand, wide into the lunge, and look forward. Part 1. Part 2, take your left shoulder underneath. So you can stay on the hands flat. If you feel ready, take your hands on your fingertips and turn the back heel down. This is where the bundles become very important. Suction up from the pelvic floor into your belly and see if your hands float up like an airplane. Look forward now towards me. You got it. Hands release. Swing back, leg goes up. Down dog split. Take your left foot forward between your hands. Turn the back heel down and rise up warrior 2 book. A little long. Walk this back. Good. Exhale. Smooth out your breath. Exhale. As you get the front hip to descend a little. Yeah. Right hand goes down the back leg. Go up and back. Reverse forward. And you feel the lift of the belly away from the tailbone to create lightness in your low back. And with your in-breath, come on up. Take your left forearm to your front thigh. Your left side ankle so expand. Yep, and take the right arm over the ear. Now here, I like to use the arm, so if you press down into the arm, it'll help you to lift this area up. See that long? And then you enjoy heart, head. Nice. That's it. 2 hands down. Step forward, Uttanasana. Let your head go down. Simplify. Bend your knees, hands above your knees. Pause on the exhale. Use your inhale to come up. Now take your right leg over like you did before. Try forearms like this. If it doesn't go easily, then just remember how we did. We did like this, right? You can do that. Take a breath. Do your hands go down? What I like to do is use the blocks so that you get some lift. And if you don't have blocks and you're watching this later, you can use books. You can use all kinds of things, pillows, whatever. So you just give yourself a breath. Take a breath in. And you let your heart come down. So you keep the hip opening, the foot flexed, so you let your spine descend down and forward. Now, because this is the physical focus of the day, keep that internal feeling like a flame in and up. Right? Whereas like other days we might focus more on like the grounding component, that's still there, but we're trying to get the inner body more charged to help us in these arm balance postures. Take that leg down and up into standing split. Keep using your blocks. I like to use the blocks to push. And when you have your balance, open for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So your left hand is down, your right arm is up. Good. Suctioning in and up from the belly into the heart so you can fly as strong, as beautiful, strong from inside. Hand goes down and step forward, Uttanasana. Bow and forward. Bend your knees. Take your hands above your knees. And exhale. So keep pressing through the insides of your feet. Yeah, that's going to help your hips. Take your left leg over. Half ankle. Use the flex of your foot. There you go. And come on down. So everyone has good ankle to knee alignment. That's all good. So you're going to keep that. And as you come forward, I use this visually because it can be hard to feel. You're visualizing this flame inward or even like a straw-like feeling in and up. Right? Because later we're going to take this into the air. Once you have that feeling, let your head come down and fold. Take that leg down and up into standing split pose. Finding the balance, when you're ready, open up half horn pose. Now you're opening left leg up. But you can see how useful it is to have the bandhas working for you. Buoyant, balancing. Otherwise the posture can feel a little heavy. That's good. It looks nice and light. Hold it open through your limbs. Hand goes down. And foot goes forward. Good. Let your head down. Give yourself a wiggle. I'll show this from two different angles. Come on down so you're like this, hands placed. Tippy toes. And you draw your knees up towards your armpits. This is part one. So if your feet don't come off the ground, don't worry, you can just practice this. In and up. So like the feet are coming up towards the seat. When you're ready, tip your heart forward, Bakasana, crow pose. The feet might come up. Okay. Go ahead, you could do it like this. But you can see if the heart, now we take the bandhas into the fulcrum of the heart, moving forward. Forward, 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 forward. Take your feet down, lift your hips up, and fold forward. So you have two elements. Now the work of the bandhas, and now we start to shift the fulcrum. We start to shift the center of gravity forward, out of your feet and your legs. Let's try it again. Bring your feet closer. Come more towards the front of your mat. You're on your tippy toes, and you're suctioning in and up, part one. So you can just stay there. Part two, you're bringing yourself forward into your new center of gravity. Keeping your shoulders and your heart forward. If you've done this before, you guys can do this with me. Kick your legs back. Chaturanga. Yeah. Grunting helps. And you're coming all the way back. Downward facing dog. And back into child's pose. Take yourself all the way. So I find like the bandhas can be like that energy of Ganesh. It's like it can take you to the next level. Things that you didn't think you could do. You start to turn on kind of the inner energy work. You have to rock yourself up. And come forward. Let's do downward dog first. You're coming down dog. Walk your feet forward. And come back into standing splits. Let's do right foot forward, left leg up. Use your blocks. What I said. Sorry, let me clarify. Standing on your right foot, take your left leg up there. Full breath in. And breath out. Part one. Part two, Ardha Chandrasana. Once again, half moon pose. Open yours. Everything moves with that lightness from the center. You got it. Even if you walk, don't worry. Take the hand down. Listen close. We did this on Friday for those of you that were there. Big breath. Curtsy down all the way down into Ardha Matsyendrasana. Right, so you're going to sit on down. Take your left arm up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to elongate the low back. And exhale to twist the heart right around the low back. You just stick with that. With your inhale, you come back to the center. Cross your ankles for Agnisthambasana. Now, for some people, this is quite easy just because of the structure of the hips, and for others, it doesn't work at all. In which case, you stretch your bottom leg out. You guys are okay. Lift your seat up and widen your sitting bones. Remember that really good flex of the foot that you had when you were standing. Good. You're going to keep that. Lift up and come forward, Agni. Good. Keep the seat wide. And exhale, coming down. Good. Tina, do a little bit more flex of your foot. Yeah, that's perfect. Yep. So you can feel the difference when you pull the outer edges of your foot back. Can you feel it's like almost like you're making like a footprint on each wall? Even more, Morgan, like if you can pull the pinky toe side of the foot back, that's right. That'll get that outer calf muscle to work and stabilize the shins. Okay, and with your in-breath, come on up. Take your top leg around behind you and swing back, downward facing dog. Now we're just turn side. And if you'd like to take vinyasa, you can do that here, or you just hold your down dog. Find that lightness up and out. to take the pressure off your wrists. Walking your feet forward. Coming down into your squat, stage 1, like this. Stage 2, Bakasana, number 3. It gets easier. Lighter and lighter as you tip your center of gravity into the heart, the spiritual heart, which will move forward. If you can, jump back, chaturanga. Good. Through the vinyasa and back to downward facing dog. Yes, bunny hop too. They remember how we did that bunny hop? One way to start to build, like bunny hop. 1, 2, 3, and it can start to build. Walking forward, standing split. Left foot down, right leg up. Hold here on the exhale. Keep pressing down into your blocks, and when you're ready, open up Ardha Chandrasana. From the center of your body, extending all the way through your limbs. Beautifully done. Hand goes down. Curtsy all the way down. And flip to the front. Good. And you have right arm goes up. Exhale across. Each inhale to lift the low back upward. Each exhale to spin the heart around the pelvis. Good. And the very last piece to go is your head. With your inhale, come back to the front and cross ankle to knee. So this is similar to lotus in that it can be very tricky for the knee if it looks like something like this, and then you go forward, it can pull. So you want to make sure you have a really good angle, and then if not, just stretch the bottom leg out. Once you have that angle, foot to knee, right into the hip, exhale, fold forward, Agni Stambhasana, and start to deepen the breath. So we're hearing the symbology of Ganesh, which is he's the remover of obstacles, he's that quality of inner strength, he's the one that takes us beyond kind of the threshold and into the new stage of life or spiritual development, wherever that might be. Of course, it always comes with challenge, as life challenges us. So, but why is that? Like, why is he all of those things? Well, there's a story that goes along. And it begins with Parvati. Parvati is one of the goddesses. With your in-breath, you're going to come on up. Now, a little different. Take your top leg around behind you and come into pigeon. Again, I'm going to shift to the side so you can see. So you're like, shift around and fold forward. If for some reason you have knee pain, you guys had a knee surgery, you're going to do this one on your back. Figure 4, which we'll do in a few moments. Okay. Lift your hips up. Force, lift that hip up a little bit. There you go. Widen your hips and then exhale, fold forward into pigeon pose. That's good, Catherine. Let your head go down. Yep. So here you're 45 degrees. So the story begins with Parvati, and Parvati, she's one of the goddesses. She is, in this story, her beloved is Shiva. Shiva, one of Shiva's forms is here in the front of the room. And he's off, as he often is, meditating for thousands of years. And she gets lonely. She's like, I don't know when he's coming back. He's in the Himalayas meditating. So I'm going to create, all I wish for is a baby boy. So I'm going to create this baby boy from the ointments of my skin, from the perfumes and the ointments of my skin. And she starts to mold from her skin, she starts to mold this beautiful little baby boy. And she names him Ganapati. This little baby boy. You guys can come on up. Swing that leg around behind you. Come onto your back, keep with the right leg on top, figure 4, so it's a pigeon on your back, and bring the bottom leg in. Right, so I like to do these poses on the back before we take them in the air. Work the flex of the feet, work the hips open from the center. Exhale, shoulders go back. So here you don't have to work so much the bandhas or even the fulcrum, you can just get the hips to open. Breathing in and breathing out. That's the way. Now, if you like, you can straighten the bottom leg up, the one that's bent, and reach it up. And then today, just keep working the flexible foot on the right foot. Yeah, and let's get out and that. Inhale here, and In and exhale. Bend both knees in towards your chest. I'm going to give you an option. For those that feel good in your back, you're rocking forward and back. So much so, 2, 3, 4 times to get some momentum to fly right into crow pose. Otherwise, just walk yourself up and meet us in crow or meet us in uttanasana. If you're feeling feisty, keep your shoulders forward, jump back. Chaturanga. And we'll move back to downward facing up. Take your time all the way down. Downward facing up. Right leg goes up. Pigeon pose, is that right? Oh, good. Thank God Jordan's here. Left leg up. And left leg forward. Pigeon pose. Exhale forward. Now just look at me towards the front of the room for a moment. So sometimes we do pigeon in a more relaxed way. It's like I call it like sleepy pigeon. This pigeon's a more active. You press through your knees, you square your hips, because ultimately you're going to be up in the air in this pose. Okay, so the hips and there's an activity from the pelvic floor. Then you take your head down. Right. So the right hip is moved forward. Maybe take your knee more this way. Yeah.
I hurt my knee at cold.
Oh, did you? Yeah, but lift so that there's no pressure on your knee, like put something underneath your butt. Right. Yes. So there's less pressure on the crunch. Yeah. Is that better? Yeah. So she takes her new beautiful little baby boy that she made from the ointments of her skin, and she places him at the doorway. The doorway of the bedroom, and she says, "Don't let anybody in. I'm going to take a bath. Don't let anybody in, Ganapati." And Ganapati says, "Okay, Mom, I'm not going to let anybody in. Don't let anybody in," she says. So while he's there, just waiting and kind of standing guard at the doorway, guess who arrives but Shiva? And of course, Ganapati has no idea who Shiva is, even though Shiva is kind of metaphorically his father. With your inhale, you're going to lift yourself up. Swing that back leg around to the front. Go all the way down onto your back. Keep the same leg forward so you're on your left. Ankle to knee on the left side. Little flex of the feet. Here you get to just focus on your hips without any pressure in your knees. And you let the hips open up and the shoulders release back. Good. So in time, what we're going to get is like this, right? So this is going to open. So that's why I keep going like inner edge, right? So this rolls in, and then over time, then it will start. Because it's like a little locked, just a little bit. And it's almost like the external rotation is superseding the internal rotation. So we're going to get this first, and then there. Okay. If you like, take the bottom leg and stretch upward. Everyone looks good. Shoulders descending backward, and just enjoy this pose without any pressure onto your arms, your wrists, your core. So Shiva arrives, and Shiva's a ferocious one sometimes. And he says, well, this is my home, I have to come in. And Ganapati says, oh no, my mom says not to allow anybody in. He's like, well, do you know who I am? And Ganapati says, I don't care who you are. My mom said not to let anybody in, so I'm not letting anybody in. Well, Shiva starts to get really upset, and he wields his sword. You better let me in. Ganapati says, oh no, mom said can't let anybody in. So Shiva became so enraged, so ferocious, that he wields his sword, and he actually cuts the head right off of Ganapati. Well, Parvati's not really happy about this. She comes out, Shiva, what did you do? You guys can bring your knees into your chest, same thing. So you're gonna rock forward and back on your spine. And if your back is good, you're gonna fly right up into crow pose. And if it's feeling a little sensitive, just walk it up and come into Uttanasana. Good, give it your best shot. So here you are, yeah, that's the way, careful. And then you can swing back to Vinyasa, or you can walk back and we'll meet you in downward facing dog. Yeah, right, 1, 2, 3, all the way back. 3, 4 cycles of breath in down dog. Let your head be long of your spine. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Shoulders good and strong. Walk your feet forward all the way up to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, hands above your knees. Modified chair pose. Sit down low. Inhale, rise to stand. And the hands go back to prayer. Now just pause here in a simple pose. Head over heart over pelvis, feet grounded, hands in prayer. Feel your hands in prayer right at the center of your body. Right? So you have the lower part, in the middle the heart, and then the upper part. Right where the heels of your hands are, that's the heart fulcrum. That's the center of gravity for these next poses. Right where the heels of the hands are. Now take your arms down, open your eyes, I'm going to face you this way. Take the right leg up. Exhale, squat down. Just part one. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, see how this goes. This is stage one. Stage two, take your hands down. Another option is you can take your hands onto blocks. I recommend like medium or low. This one. It's not going to feel as stable, but you'll feel like you have a little bit more lift if your hips are tight. For those that want to go on, shift forward. See if you can hook the foot to the outside of your elbow, the outside of your tricep. Tipping forward, bringing your heart more forward than you think. To lift the back leg up off the ground, does it go even just a little bit towards your buttock? If it's lifted up towards your buttock, extend the back leg back and away from you. Release everything down. We'll come back to it and come on up to stand. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. One of my teachers always said, you want like no one to ever come back to your classes, just do lots of arm balances. Like they can be so frustrating. Take your other leg up. So we'll just do a couple. And you come down halfway. So you can see how like this one's more complex because it needs like not only your hip opening, but it also needs for your body to really shift forward. You go onto the blocks. I go low setting on the blocks probably is best, or hands down onto the ground. On this side I can't do as well. You hook forward, heart goes forward, and then you can just practice. Heel goes up towards the seat. Heel goes up towards the seat. Yeah. I think this is the first time post-baby I've even attempted to do this one. Good. And then release it. Come all the way up. Okay, shake it out. Jordan, you want to show us? Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay. Let's watch Jordan. Send you a cut of the person. Okay, so here, watch the hook. See how he's hooking on that side of the tricep? See, that's really strong. Shift. Now he goes forward to take the back leg out. Woo. Then it gets really light. Beautiful. First challenge is the hips have to be really open, right? So you might even just feel that like, oh, I can't get that leg to go up. And that's just part of like working that part. Part two, once the hips are open, up, and then that third part really tipping forward. So it's like really trusting yourself. So if you're not able to take the leg up, you could just practice like this. So as I get back going again, I'm just gonna practice like that. And then maybe it starts to lift away. You just get that feeling. Okay, first side again. Rising up, exhale. Now if you just want to practice the hip opener, you could stay like this. It's basically like pigeon, just standing. Okay? If you want to go on from there, take your hands down. Good. Shift your heart more forward. And see if the bottom leg lifts up towards your buttocks. Yes, see, go lower here, like here. Flex, there, yes. Yes. Even just thinking about it helps. It's like building neural pathways for next time. There you go, Tom. All right, come on up, other side. Exhale. Flex the foot. This is the side I can't do as well. So I come forward, I'm with you. I'm suffering with you. Here we go, tipping forward, heel lifts up, heel lifts up. One side always feels much more impossible. Heel lifts up, maybe starts to extend. Good, nice way, Catherine. Good, and then release, everybody come back. Child's pose, take a break off your wrist, bring your knees down. Arms go forward, exhale out. Good, so are we done with arm balances or do we have one more in us? I'm not gonna ask Jordan. I know what the answer will be. You got one more in you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I guess you can go to the back. You can opt out. Okay, come up to all fours. Place your right foot forward between your hands. Lift your back leg up. Let's prep it first. Take a twist up and over. You guys are twisting to the right. Hands to prayer in front of Go, Brianna, go this way. Go towards 9th Street, yeah. Paritta Parshakanasana. And down into your legs, twisting into the spine. Just that, breathing in, breathing out. Your favorite variation of the arms. For fun, try this. Take your left hand down and your right arm up. If you're in the bind, you can hold the bind. If you can take the bind around. If the bind doesn't happen, don't worry. Just keep your hands, one hand down, one hand up. Look forward. Look forward towards your front foot, beyond your toes. And see if you could scoot. 1, 2, 3. Sit down, Ardha Matsyendrasana. You could release the bind to come down. You could lift the chest. Exhale, twist to the right. Yeah, you can just release the bind and then you come back down into the regular. You can take the bind once you're down there, or you can just do as you've done before. Good, release. I'm gonna face the front again. So I'm like opposite, it looks like I'm opposite you. And come forward, Avistambhasana. Take a little twist. You guys are gonna twist this way. Hook the elbow. And like Forrest, you could do like this. Yep. Do on this foot, like put this foot over, like over the knee. This foot, like put it on top. There you go, and then put the elbow. Good. If you have the elbow, hands to prayer, you could do elbow. You could do like even like that, and twist up and around. Big exhale. Another in. Good. Nice, you guys. Again. And come back to the center. Walk yourself forward. Back to regular Agni. Or if you're in the figure 4 position, you can just come forward that way. Good. So back to our story. Parvati's really upset. She's like, why did you cut the head of your baby boy? She says, well, I didn't know I had a baby boy. I didn't know that was happening. And she says, well, you better fix this. I'm going to send you out. You better fix this. Well, the first animal that he sees is the elephant. And so he slices the head off the elephant, brings it back, and the story goes coming up. That he restores everything with now the baby boy and the head of an elephant. Take the top leg around behind you, and you're back in downward facing. Left foot forward between your hands. Start with an easy twist. Easy meaning, not too deep, so you just get the feeling. Pressing down and out into your legs. Using the hands to press and to help you twist. Now you notice when you press your hands, that'll activate your low back. It looks really good. Long, strong, keeping with that. If you like to go on, you take your left hand down and the right arm goes straight up.
Right down.
Sorry, right, thank you. Right arm down, left arm. Right arm down, left arm up, correct. 2. 3, you take the bind around behind your back. If the bind doesn't come easily, just do what you did before, it's fine. Hold it, full exhale. Okay. Look down, look forward, scoot in, and come to sit. Okay, I'm going to face you again this way. You're up, I'm around. Let me just show the spin. Right, that's right. Yeah, and you just kerplunk. Yeah, you just kind of kerplunk and then come down. Good, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Inhale, come forward. Stack your shins. So now you have your left leg on top. Is that right? So I'll be like your mirror. Exhale. Twist. Hook the elbow. Or whatever you can get to. Like any of this is fine. And then if you have that, hands to prayer. If you're doing one leg forward, one leg back, same idea. You could just go towards the elbow. Good, that's better with the foot. Keep pressing the hands. Then open the chest. It's like separating the lower and the upper body. Now, right where the heels of your hands are, you feel that as your center. It's called the focal point, or the base of the spiritual heart. With your inhale, you come back. Exhale. Last one here. Forward, forward. The elephant is significant because in this tradition, the elephant is seen as an animal with great wisdom. Wisdom kind of representing awakening or the possibility of awakening, that capacity. Deep intelligence, wisdom, this is the elephant head. And you come on up. And so when you have together this body of the baby boy, very human, and the wisdom of the elephant, here they are, they've come together. Take your top leg around behind you. One more time, downward facing dog. And so the tradition is saying it's like the bringing together of two parts, the very human part of ourself, and then this kind of spiritually developed part of ourself, elephant, and body of the baby boy. You're gonna walk your feet forward, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, hands above your knees, modified chair pose. Pause there, exhale. And then right in between the head of the elephant and the body of the baby boy is your heart. So the heart is like the bridge point between these two parts of ourself. Rise all the way up, take your arms up, big stretch. And the hands back to the center. Just like you did a moment ago. Hands to prayer, eyes closed. And you're gonna feel that center, right at the base of your hands, the base heels of the hands. So this is the bridging point, the heart, it's like between our very human selves and our more spiritually developed selves, the elephant head. And Ganesh is said to be kind of like that counterpoint, that center point between these two aspects of self. You take your right leg up, here we go. Dragonfly, hook, right ankle. Come on down, hands go down to the ground. Pause, this is stage one, so you could just do that. Stage two, walk your hands, yeah, you can stagger. Walk your hands to the left. Walk so much that you get your tricep by the sole of your foot. If you're like, what, that lady's crazy. Oh. If it's not possible, then you just walk as far as you can. See if you can get this foot here. Wide hands like chaturanga, walk that hand out. Hands pressed down, flex those toes. Lean forward, stand on your tricep, tip forward, laughing is good. And then the bottom leg will extend out. There you go, Jen. Good, that's right, forward, and then the leg extends out. Good, come back to the center. Up, release, shake it out. Okay, let me see if I can. So you're gonna walk really far. You see how far you're gonna walk? You're gonna tip forward, you stand. If you stand on your arms, easier, and then the bottom leg can go out. That way. Whoa. Okay, other side, left side, please. You thought the other one was hard, and you go down. I did ask, I was democratic in this, okay? Come on down, so part one. Part two, walk your hands all the way over. So much so that the sole of the foot's coming close to the tricep. You have to crouch a little bit. Take your other hand, that's your right hand, pretty wide. See how that goes? You can just stop there, breathe in and breathe out. If you're ready, hands go flat. Stand onto your tricep and reach the other leg out, forward. There you go. Yeah, one side's much easier, right? Or not. Good. All the way down, come all the way down to sit. And bring the soles of your feet together. That's right, yeah, you're just standing on your soles of the feet together. Exhale, fold forward. And let your head go down. Yeah. Good. Baddha Konasana. Good. So lots of opening into the hips today. You'll have the same feeling as the hips widen open right from the center. Heart comes down, the head comes down. And you'll start to deepen your breath. Yeah, Baddha Konasana. Yeah. Inhale, come up. Stretch the left leg long out in front. Take the right foot back. And the right foot goes pretty far into the groin, so the knee will point more back in that direction. Give a wide base for your seat, and exhale, come in between your legs. So you guys are like, yeah, it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So no more arm balances, but that connection between the lower body and your upper body, right? Finding the kind of center point right at the base of the heart. You can let it go down, and then you let your head go down. And even if the arm balances aren't possible on a given day, you can still work the hips really open. You probably feel like more open in the hips, even just from doing the preparations. Okay, you walk your hands back, twisting over your front leg. So the leg stays the same, but you twist the belly this way. Exhale, fold up and over. So you can either hold your foot, your shin, your knee, whatever you can reach, but take your left hand on the side so we can amplify the twist. You'll press down, draw the belly back, exhale, fold up and over. You're going to feel the back of the heart, right where your center, the palms were drawing forward. Exhale, bow forward. That's really good. Yeah, and even here, it's like the bandhas are still activating so that there's a lift from the belly to the heart. It's very subtle, it's still there. With your inhale, rise up. Twist your body to the right. Show from this angle. Yeah. Exhale, dip your left shoulder to the inside of your front leg towards me. Right arm goes up and over. Hold the foot, or just extending long so you have two parallel tracks. Yeah. Exhale on the twist. Breathing to the center of the heart. Twisting on the exhale. Good, one more. With your inhale, rise all the way up. Take the right hand behind you, push down to lift up. Back bend, lift the left arm up. Hold that, just enjoy opening through the front of the body, through the throat. Good. All the way down. Perfect, and switch the sides. Your right leg forward and left leg back. Start with a wide base, and you go in between the legs. Well, just a little violent. Why is Shiva cutting the head off of a baby boy? So if we look at the mythology, or like we look at the iconography of the symbols, Shiva is that energy in our own life, or even in our own practice, that has that kind of feeling to it. It's like when life comes and you just kind of like get your head cut off, right? That's Shiva. It's very transformative energy. And it comes in sometimes without rhyme or reason. It's just like a really kind of fiery type of energy. That's like Shiva. Sword wielding. Now you're going to turn yourself over your front leg. And then if we look at the symbology, well, it's just a baby boy, but the baby boy is also representative of us, which is very human, right? We are all human, and we've all been babies. And this idea that when we get our head kind of sliced off, that is a symbol of our own ego getting chopped, right? So Shiva comes to kind of wake us up to our own ego. Parvati being the goddess energy, that which restores things to health and to vibrance and to abundance, she says, well, you better fix this. Come on up. And come back. And the elephant being that symbol of great wisdom, spiritual wisdom. Okay, come down. Oh, I didn't do my perfect. That's okay, we can do it here. Twisting. Up and over. Good, reverse order is fine. And then right at the center between these 2 points of the very human body and the elephant head, that which represents the spiritual awakening, right in the center of that is our heart, is the heart. Come on up. Soles of the feet together once again. Body can also go a little wider now, so it's like longer pose. And exhale, fold. You can either use the block for your head, or you just come down this way. so it's more rounded. And so the story represents all of us. We're all trying to bridge that connection between our very human selves and this higher or deeper part of ourselves that is for awakening. And the story goes, well, it's right inside of you. It's in your spiritual heart. This is where Ganesh. This is what Ganesh represents. Good. With your inhale, you lift your head up. Stretch your legs out. Give them a little shake. All in the sake of keeping our immunity going. Shoulder stand. So we're going to do shoulder stand every day now. So for those of you where your shoulders, like they're not tight, but they're like, I would say like moderate, you would have a blanket. If you know your shoulders are really open, you don't need a blanket. And if you know your shoulders are more tight, then you use 2 blankets and you stack 1, 2. You take the shoulders right onto the edge of the blanket and your head is off. You have here, and then let me just give you an option. If you're not going upside down and you don't want to do shoulder stand because of cervical issues or other reasons, you take your legs like this. Okay? That's supported. Regular Sarvangasana, shoulders on, neck is off, and we come up this side. Okay. Let me just take a look. Yeah. So as I was saying on Friday, one of the reasons, I mean, it's such an amazing pose, but one of the reasons it can be so helpful for immunity is that it can pump lymph through your system. So as you bring, like you have your head back, you have your shoulders back, you're bringing a healthy compression into the neck and cervical area where you have some lymph nodes. I mean, yoga in general is good for your lymphatic system. And then we start to slow the breath down. Slow your breath, which can help us with obstacles. But of course, it's just awakening our own kind of source of breath, source of energy. So we're going to hold Sarvangasana for a little bit. If you're feeling a little antsy, take some variations. Take the soles of the feet together like you just did in Baddha Konasana. If you're feeling like you need to come down, that's no problem. Just slowly come down. For those that are still up, take your legs overhead to Halasana. Plow pose. And hold plow pose. Here you get the benefit of the upside down forward bend. You let your knees drop by your temples. And you become like a little seed. Right. If you have the restorative version, slowly come down. You can bring your feet down and your hands, your hips off the block. If you're in Karnapidasana, that's the one like a little seed. Hold that and let the body round inward. Okay, very slowly coming down. Now, once you're down, I think it's best to remove the block because it feels like it's in your way. Just place it to the side. Once you're down, take your feet wide. Drop your knees in towards the center. Take one hand to your belly. Take one hand to your heart. And just bring your attention back to the breath without any asanas now. Feeling the breath move into the belly, but then also move up into your top hand, up into your heart. when you're ready from here, bring your knees in, happy baby pose, either holding the outsides of your feet, or you can go like this, which is more close. Yeah, whichever one you prefer. You'll take the knees back into the center. If they're not, take both knees over to the left for an easy twist, and the arm goes out. Right arm goes out. With your inhale, bring the knees back to the center. Take the knees over to the other side, left side, arms go out. That's it, just holding the twist, enjoying the breath. And so what does the myth of Ganesha, or Ganapati is another name, mean? You can always, it's the beauty of mythology is you can interpret it in your own way. But what it's meant to do also is to remind us that we have these kind of two parts of ourself. It's like the very human part of ourself, almost like a baby. And we have this other part of ourself that has this incredible capacity to awaken, to be kind of tapped into wisdom. And right in between those parts of ourself, right, is our own heart, or what's called the spiritual heart. And we can access that through the practice. With your next inhale, you come back to the center, and you give yourself a good hug. You could keep the head down or lift the head up, which will give you more of a feeling of the low back. And then from there, you should be ready, but if you feel like you need some other pose to finish, you can do that now. Or you'll get prepared, really warm, for Shavasana, final relaxation. So you can put the blanket. Sometimes it's nice to just have a weight, like over your pelvis, like that. Or you could put the whole blanket over you. And once you find your resting spot, let all of the muscles of your body, all the hip muscles that we work, let them release, the shoulder muscles, and even the bandhas. We did a lot of kind of inner core work. Let your bandha action relax now. You don't need it here. And that way the breath can be even more, even more natural. And you can bring some movement into your body. Comfortable seated position, we'll sit together a couple minutes. Like the seat can look different for different bodies. Like sometimes I work with people and they have like knee surgeries and stuff. It doesn't feel comfortable, so they'll sit like with one leg out, or they'll sit on a chair. And then once you find a good seat for yourself, then you can either close your eyes, or another option is to just look down. So it's like you can look off the tip of your nose, so it has an internal quality, but some people feel more grounded in that way. I like to do eyes closed, so you see which one works for you. And so you might ask, well, what am I doing when I'm meditating? What am I trying to do? So many, many different techniques. In one kind of simple way, simply put, you're attempting to connect all that you are, all the human aspects of yourself. Your body, your ego, your personality, all of these things. And yet we're also simultaneously connecting to our deeper aspects of self, or higher consciousness, deeper awareness, deeper wisdom. And so that is the confluence of human and elephant, baby and elephant. And so all of these practices, all the asanas, and meditation and breath work, are really, really helpful all the time, but particularly helpful when we feel like our head is getting cut off, sliced off by Shiva, or collectively, culturally, societally, all of the challenges that we experience, right, to start to come back to that integration of human and elephant. So you just bring your gaze either down or in, and you feel your breath, kind of recollecting yourself. And you can bring a very soft focus, very soft awareness to the base of the spiritual heart, which is below your physical heart. It's that center point, the bridging point between the upper and lower body. Keeping your awareness really soft at the base of the heart. You can take your hands now to Anjali Mudra. Integrating now all the parts of ourselves, all the poses, all the practice that we did together. And so you might have your own wish or your own prayer, or you might ask to invoke this energy of Ganesh, or you might even ask outwardly for the strength to Ganesh. So you can finish in your own way. And we'll chant Om once to close. Deep, full breath in. Bow down to yourself, to each other. Namaste. Namaste. Thanks everyone for rolling with millions of our balances.